Okay, imagine this. You're dreaming of those absolutely stunning Thai islands, the ones you see in pictures off the Krabi coast. That clear water, limestone cliffs.
Classic Thailand.
Beautiful. Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into one of the most popular ways to see them, the Krabi 4 Island Tour.
Yeah, it's a staple for visitors there. We've looked at quite a few different takes on it. There's a YouTube video from a traveler, KTM Thanakar, who was there recently.
Okay, first-hand account, nice.
Right. And then some really practical tips from Inklastrad Text, plus another YouTuber, Chase for Adventure, who seemed pretty enthusiastic.
And we've also got a guide, right, to kind of tie it all together.
Yep, the ultimate guide to the 4 Islands tour in Krabi. So a good mix of personal experience and general advice.
Perfect. So if you're thinking about doing this tour, maybe it's on your list for Krabi. Our goal here is simple. We want to give you the real picture. What's each island actually like? What are the practical things you need to know? Booking, costs, all that. And, are there any catches or surprises?
Basically everything you need to decide if it's the right tour for you.
Let's do it. So the tour basically hits 4 main spots, yeah.
That's the idea. You've got Phra Nang Cave Beach, then Chicken Island, or Koh Gai Tup Island, which is Koh Phap, and finally Poda Island, Koh Poda.
Right. And Phra Nang Cave Beach, that's technically part of Railay, isn't it? Not a separate island.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
It's on the Railay Peninsula, but you can only really get there by boat, so it fits naturally into an island hopping tour like this one.
And it's pretty famous, right? It's got that cave.
Ah, yes, the Princess Cave.
Yeah.
KTM Thanakar mentioned it, showed some footage. It's known for the offerings.
The penis shrine, yeah. The guide mentioned that too. Apparently couples leave carvings there hoping for fertility. It's quite a unique cultural thing.
Definitely stands out. But beyond that, it just looks stunning visually. Those big limestone cliffs everywhere.
Great for photos, I bet, and swimming.
Yeah, good for swimming and photos. Not really a snorkeling spot, though. Usually you get about, say, 45 minutes there.
Okay, decent stop to start. Then, Chicken Island. Koh Gai.
Koh Gai. And the name is pretty literal, isn't it?
Ah, yeah, Chase for Adventure pointed that out. It really does have this rock sticking out that looks just like a chicken's head.
It's uncanny. Now, the interesting thing here is the boats don't usually land on Chicken Island itself. They anchor nearby.
Ah, so it's more about what's around it.
Primarily, yeah. The guides, like Inklastrad and the Ultimate Guide, say it's a good snorkeling spot. You're supposed to see colorful fish, coral.
Okay, typical tropical snorkeling. But wasn't there a bit of a different take on that?
Yeah. This is where KTM Thanakar's experience differed quite a bit. They said the water clarity wasn't great when they were there.
Oh.
Yeah, they mentioned not really seeing any fish. So it really highlights how conditions can change,
Definitely. Weather, tides, time of day, it all plays a part, I guess. How long do you usually get for snorkeling there?
Typically around 30 minutes for that stop.
Okay. Moving on then to Tup Island, Koh Phap.
Yes, Koh Phap. And this one has a really cool feature. It's connected to Chicken Island and another tiny one, Koh Moor, by a sandbar.
Oh, the fail week. I read about that. The disappearing sandbar.
That's the one. It only appears at low tide. Both Inklastrad and the Ultimate Guide really highlight this. You can actually walk between the islands.
Wow. That sounds amazing. Chase for Adventure mentioned wishing they'd timed it better for low tide to do that walk.
Yeah, it seems like a big draw. Imagine walking on sand with sea on both sides, connecting islands. Pretty unique.
For sure. Any downsides to the sandbar walk?
Well, the Ultimate Guide does give a little warning. Just be careful of sharp bits of coral or shells underfoot. Sensible shoes might be good, or just watch your step.
Good tip. How long here? And any snorkeling?
About 40 minutes is typical for Tup Island, and yes, it's mentioned as another potential spot for snorkeling too.
Okay, great. And the last of the main 4 is Poda Island. Koh Poda.
Koh Poda, yeah. This is the biggest of the 4 islands on the standard tour. KTM Thanakar described it as feeling quite peaceful.
What's it like?
Think high rocky cliffs, framing beautiful white sandy beaches, and that classic turquoise water. Just really picturesque.
Sounds like the place to relax. I saw Chase for Adventure's footage. The water looked incredibly clear.
And it seems to be the main hub, in a way. Both KTM Thanakar and the Ultimate Guide say it's usually the lunch stop.
Ah, makes sense. Are there facilities there?
Yeah, a few basics. Restrooms, a small shop selling snacks and drinks, and apparently you can even rent kayaks, according to the guide.
Kayaks, interesting. And you get more time here.
Definitely. Usually about an hour to an hour and a half. So, time to eat, swim, relax on the beach, maybe do a bit more snorkeling if you feel like it.
Nice. Any tips for Poda?
The ultimate guide suggests maybe heading down to the southern end of the beach if the main area feels a bit crowded. Might find a quieter spot there.
Good advice. Okay, so that's the islands themselves. Now, how do you actually, book this thing?
Plenty of ways.
Yeah.
Inclustrad text lays it out clearly. You can book online, get your guide, Klook, Viator, all the usual suspects.
Easy enough.
Or you can do it in person. Lots of travel agents along Phra Nang Beach or in Krabi town. Your hotel can probably sort it out for you too.
Right. And what about the boats? I've heard there are different types.
Yeah, that's a key choice. Inclustrad mentions the main two are the traditional longtail boats and the speedboats.
Okay, pros and cons.
Well, the longtail is like the classic Kai boat experience. More atmospheric, maybe.
Yeah.
It's also cheaper, usually around 400 to 600 baht. But they're slower and definitely bumpier if the water's choppy.
Right, so the speedboat.
Faster, smoother ride, get you between islands quicker, so maybe slightly more time at each stop, potentially. But it costs more, looking at maybe 800 to 1500 baht.
Trade-offs. Are there other options? I think the guide mentioned something else.
Yeah. The Ultimate Guide also talks about tours on a Siamese junk. That's a more premium, traditional sailing boat experience. Pricier, though, around 2,500 to 3,000 baht.
Okay. And private tours.
Also an option, especially if you want flexibility. A private longtail might cost somewhere between 2,500 and 4,000 baht for the boat.
Got it. How long does the whole day trip usually take?
Generally around 7 to 8 hours. Most seem to run from about 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Although KTM Thanakar mentioned their tour started a bit earlier than that.
And what's usually included in the price? Besides the boat ride, obviously.
Inclustrad says most standard tours throw in hotel pickup and drop-off, an English-speaking guide, your snorkeling gear, mask, and snorkel.
Life jackets.
Yep, life jackets, definitely. And usually lunch and drinking water are included, too.
Okay. What about that park fee? I remember reading something about that.
Ah, yes, crucial point. The national park fee. The Ultimate Guide says it's 400 baht for adults, 200 for kids. Sometimes it's included in the tour price, sometimes it's extra.
So you have to check that when booking.
Absolutely. KTM Thanakar mentioned paying a 400 baht per person fee separately on their trip, so it definitely happens. Don't get caught out.
Right. Good to know. What should people pack for the day?
Pretty standard beach day stuff, really. Swimsuit, obviously. A towel. Inclustrad really recommends a waterproof bag. Makes sense with all the boat hopping.
Sun protection.
Essential. Reef-safe sunscreen if possible, sunglasses, a hat, your phone or camera, maybe in a waterproof case if you want underwater shots, or just peace of mind.
Cash.
Yeah, probably a good idea to have some cash for small extras, like maybe buying a coconut on Poda Island, or if you wanted to rent a kayak perhaps, and maybe dry clothes for the ride back.
Okay. And lunch is usually provided, you said. What's it typically like?
Yeah, usually a simple Thai lunchbox. Inclustrad describes it as often being fried rice with some chicken and vegetables. Basic, but usually does the job.
And you might find vendors on Moda, too, yeah.
Selling extra snacks, drinks, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. And just to recap the boat thing, longtails are traditional but slower and bumpier. Speedboats are faster and smoother but cost more.
That's the gist of it. Choose based on your budget and maybe your tolerance for bumpy rides.
Huh, fair enough. When's the best time of year to do this tour?
Definitely the dry season, according to Inclustrad. So roughly November through to April, you get calmer seas, less rain.
And time of day. Does a morning tour make sense?
Often, yes. The water can be calmer in the morning, and sometimes you beat the biggest crowds, though it's always a popular tour. Best to avoid the main monsoon season, May to October, if you can.
Right. Now, you mentioned KTM Thanakar felt a bit rushed. How much time do you actually get at each island, typically?
It varies slightly, but generally around 30 to 45 minutes per stop seems common, with Poda Island getting that longer slot of an hour to 1.5 hours for lunch and relaxing.
So yeah, I can see how that might feel a bit quick if you really want to explore or just linger somewhere beautiful.
It's definitely a greatest hits kind of tour. You see a lot, but you don't spend ages in one place.
Okay, let's talk downsides then. Crowds seem like a big one.
Yeah, it's unavoidable really being such a popular tour. Both Chase for Adventure and The Ultimate Guide kind of hint that if crowds bother you, maybe consider a private tour.
Could give you more flexibility with timing, maybe. Hit places when they're slightly less busy.
Potentially, yeah. Or at least let you spend longer where you want. Like Chase for Adventure wishing they could have timed the sandbar walk better. A private tour might allow that.
Makes sense. And the snorkeling, we mentioned it can be hit or miss.
Right. KTM Thanakar's disappointment at Chicken Island, and possibly Poda, is a good reminder that you can't guarantee perfect underwater visibility or tons of fish every single time.
Nature, huh? Unpredictable.
Exactly. And the rushed feeling is another potential negative for some people, as we discussed. Plus, always remember the itinerary isn't set in stone.
Ah, right. Tides and weather.
Yep. The Ultimate Guide points out that operators might have to adjust the order or timing based on conditions, so you need to be a little flexible.
That guide also mentioned an alternative tour, didn't it? Something about sunset.
Oh yeah, a 5-island sunset cruise on one of those traditional Siamese junks. Sounds quite different. A more relaxed vibe, maybe? And it mentions snorkeling with bioluminescent plankton.
Whoa, okay, that sounds cool.
Doesn't it? A different way to experience the area for sure.
So wrapping this all up then, the 4-island tour gives you a snapshot of some really incredible Krabi scenery.
Definitely. You get Phra Nang's unique cave and cliffs, the cool chicken head rock, that amazing potential sandbar walk at Tup Island, and the nice beach and facilities at Poda.
Lots of wow moments packed in. And logistics-wise, booking is easy. Various boat options affect price and comfort. Remember that national park fee?
And pack for a day on the water. Best weather, usually no vapor.
But be realistic, expect crowds. Snorkeling might be amazing, or it might be just okay, and you'll be moving fairly quickly between stops.
Exactly. It's about weighing those things up. Are you after those iconic sights and the unique sandbar experience? Or are you looking for deserted beaches and hours of uninterrupted snorkeling?
Yeah, different goals need different tours, maybe. Is the quick hit, see the highlights approach right for your Krabi trip? That's the question.
And knowing there are alternatives, like private tours or that sunset cruise, gives you options too. Perhaps thinking about why you want to see these islands helps narrow it down. Is it the photos, the swimming, the novelty, or just being out on the water?
A good final thought. Really consider what you want out of the day before you book.